I just finished reading the second book in the Nora Kelly series by Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child, and I really think they should call it the Corey Swanson series, quite frankly, because in my opinion, I think they're probably going to retire Special Agent Pendergast, of whom Corey is a protege, and I think that within the next maybe one or two Agent Pendergast books, we're going to see either the death of Agent Pendergast or him hanging up his shield and passing the memento or the mantle onto Corey, because he keeps showing up at the end of the books. He's shown up at the end of Old Bones. He showed up at the end of The Scorpion's Tail. Basically to be like, bravo, Corey. Here, let me tie up the loose ends for you. But he's not always going to be there to do that. Now, The Scorpion's Tail, without giving too many spoilers, I am going to give a little bit of spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers, but I will try not to because it is a fairly new book. This book is a very interesting blend between archaeology and a mystery novel. And I really like the way that Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child have gone about blending the adventure of excavating an old site, whether it be the Donner Camp from last book or this book, where it happens to be a New Mexican excavation of Spanish treasure from Spanish colonialism, with ecclesiastical treasures like crosses and chalices, all made out of Mexican gold. And a very special rifle. And this involves a federal investigation, which is where Corey comes in, and it involves Nora Kelly, which is where the archaeology comes in. And we also get involved in the army. We have some army involvement, and the army happen to be the baddies in this novel. And I really it's they just, again, another really well balanced, really well written book. Not too much on the, like, there's still some violence, there's still, there are still scenes of, standoffs and gunplay and everything. It's a crime novel, but it's not quite as gory as the Agent Pendergast books are. Agent Pendergast seems to specialize more in supernatural types of cases, or cases that seem supernatural at first, or downright science fiction-y cases. Corey is more into the real world stuff, but it still ends up being very clandestine, very very convoluted, and it's up to Corey and Nora to solve the case. And Corey is still a very junior agent. She's on probation. So she has to solve these cases under the complete opposite. Pendergast is always on his own, lone wolf type of deal. Very reluctant to work with a partner unless he can, get along with them and they can think together properly. And Corey, on the other hand, basically needs to cross every T, dot every I, fill out every form, log every piece of evidence, because she is still on probation. She's brand new out of Quantico. So she's completely under the gun, under the scrutiny of her probationary field agent. And it's a very interesting difference to look at what Corey has to do to solve a case versus what Pendergast has to do to solve a case. But if you read both series, you can see where Corey kind of picks up Pendergast's like lone wolf ideas. She goes off on a couple of side missions to gather evidence that she knows her boss wouldn't have approved of if she asked for prior permission. So she's like, well, I'll just go get the evidence, and if I get the evidence, then I won't be in shit, and if I don't, then no one needs to know. And it's very much a Pendergast move. So I'm really, really interested to see where Corey and Nora go from here. The only problem is they still keep using the same narrator. Her name is Cynthia Farrell. She narrated last book, Old Bones, and she narrated this book, and she narrates the next one, Diablo Mesa. And I would play a clip for you, but the audio app or the Audible app for Mac is absolute garbage and I can't even sign in. So I'm sorry, but she again is forcing the mail register to the point where you can hear her voice cracking and just you can tell it hurts her throat. And then again, Pendergast shows up at the end and he sounds downright British. He sounds like he's speaking like this, like he's a posh British man. It's like, dude, he's from New Orleans, from the French Quarter. He's not gonna speak like that. If you can't do a Southern accent, just admit it and don't take the job. I understand that Audible pays their narrators a shit ton, considering that they charge almost double for an audiobook what they charge for hardcover on Amazon right now. Maybe I should start narrating. I don't know. Fuck. But anyway, that's the only problem with this book is the narrator. Otherwise, it's a very fascinating read. It's definitely shorter than, again, most of the Pendergast books, but it's not super short and it's not super long. Comes in at about 10 hours for an audio listen, so probably maybe 200 or 300 pages of print. But yeah, very good book, well worth the read. That's The Scorpion's Tale by Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child. I hope you guys enjoyed this book. Let me know if you're a fan of these guys in the comments below. I often run into Pendergast fans, so I'd be interested to see if anybody else knows of Agent Pendergast. So let me know if you read Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child in the comments below, and let me know if there's a book that you think I might enjoy reading that you'd like to hear me review. And I'll see you in the next one. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye, guys.